Welcome back, everybody, to the Nerdcore Podcast, a podcast that reviews movies and talks that nerd shit. This is episode 562, and it is your review of Shazam, Fury of the Gods. As always, it is
Looks
the
like I
Nerd
have
You're
a
Gonna Hear.
square head.
Bruh, I'm trying to intro here. God damn it.
That's a
Well,
good intro,
yeah,
man.
this is the Nerd You're Gonna Hear, the host of the show, alongside my wonderful co host, Luis,
Me,
with
you
a
already
square
heard
head.
me. Yeah.
Yeah,
This fucking hat on.
yep,
Shit happens in cartoons. Now I understand why the fucking cartoons and anime villains be having that freaky ass hair.
yep.
What up, everybody?
Yeah, Luis is still living with the decision that his barber made, not him. He didn't make that decision. His barber.
I told you the story, man. The barber hit me after he cut my hair and told me, "Hey, man, I don't know how to use scissors, so this is the best that I can come up." He did not lead up with that specific, very important fact. Burke and Kevin can testify against that statement too, because they're like, you should lead with that, my boy. But anyways, it's fine. It's hair. It'll grow back. Hopefully, I
It'll
don't
grow
know.
back, hopefully, right? Yeah.
Hopefully,
Oh
I
my
can
God. Well,
Jesus, man.
you're all probably wondering why we're doing this and what the hell. Where's Brad? Brad's out for another week, y'all. So
Brad's
we're
gone,
still.
man.
Yeah, Brad's
He
Brad left us,
took
man.
a vacation.
Yeah, and then a family emergency came up, so Brad is
Yeah,
still gonna be gone. So he'll be back next week, hopefully, and so that means that we can't do our theme month. So that means that we're just gonna talk about the movies that we watch in theaters, and that's what we're here to talk about. This one,
which is good
woohoo!
because March is filled with movies. So I
Yep,
mean, Brad can
yep.
take all the time I need. Cut back to that one time. I think I stated this is all part of my master plan of getting Brad
Brad off.
off and me as the co-host.
Yep.
I'm not fucking editing that. Fuck that. But yeah.
Yeah.
March is filled with fucking films.
Oh
Whether
yeah.
they're bangers or not, to each their own. I prefer some over the others this month. But yeah, can't
Yeah.
wait.
Um, I can. Yeah. You know what? I mean, that's a great way to tease the conversation. But yeah. Luis, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Woke up feeling a little bit of dread, just overall of financial. Like always, any grown adult is that's in the actual minority of like financial status. Not like these fucking TikTok creators saying I was working an $18 an hour job until I did this pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's been
I
good
mean, the working
figuring
class
it out.
people, right?
Yeah, I'm in
The
the working
working
class.
class.
I'm
Yeah.
in the very active working class. Aside from that, working on my content, trying not to get burnt out. Uh, yeah, that's it. I'm hungry. Haven't ate, so I'm gonna eat after this show. Yeah.
Yeah. Not much going on here. Just work. Today went to work today, and yeah, I need to sit down to edit too, and I need to do that. But I
Yeah.
have
Thankfully,
movies.
yours is short, right? You don't gotta edit too much.
Oh no, I gotta edit the cinema condition today.
Oh, you gotta cut out a lot, or what?
Yeah, I got some stuff to
Damn.
cut out. I gotta add the trailer and stuff.
Okay,
A
that's cool.
little tweaks here and there, but like they're just things that I need to. They're tedious things that I need to work on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Fucking.
the good thing is that I can do that, and that doesn't come out until like for another month. So I'm
Oh,
good.
you're good. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I
I need
just
something for Friday.
Yeah. Yeah. I have something. I have something for Friday. I don't have something for Wednesday, so I need to do that tomorrow. I need to film and edit
You got
tomorrow.
a week. You got a
Yeah.
week. It's fine.
Yeah. But yeah. I wanted to get done with the next movie that I need to do for next Wednesday, because the one I have to do on Friday is like 4 parts to the whole movie, so I need to just sit down and
Jesus
actually watch
Christ.
it. Yeah, I put out that review. I put off that review for a long time now. So it's like, okay, I need to get to it because I want to just stop saying like I'm gonna do it, and then just don't do it.
Yeah, especially for you because you have a thing of I don't even know. It falls under the line of ADHD, but you tend not to do something because it'll derail or watch something because it'll derail you from other things that you're watching.
Yep,
So like the longer it is, the more you don't want to do it.
yep. That's why I have like 10 screeners waiting for me to get to
Damn, man, that's
eventually.
what I think they put me on a no reply on mine. I haven't gotten as much lately for screeners.
It's the end of award season. It's
That's
quiet.
that's
It's
true.
quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but of course, I'm glad that everybody is doing well. I hope everyone's okay, everyone's safe, everyone's happy. We're gonna be doing this review. This movie just came out last week, and yeah, we had the pleasure of going to see this, and we will go
Yup.
ahead and talk about it then. But without further ado, if you have not watched Shazam Fury of the Gods or the first Shazam film, then you want to get out of here if you care about spoilers. But if you don't care about spoilers, you've seen any of those films, this is your chance to stay here. Either way, how any of that goes, this is your one and only spoiler warning. And it is in effect in a five, four, three, two, one. There we go, man. Shazam Fury of the Gods is a 2023 American superhero film based on the DC Comics character Shazam. Produced by New Line Cinema, DC Studios, the Safran Company, and distributed by Warner Bros. Pictures, it is the sequel to Shazam 2019 and the 12th installment in the DC Extended Universe.
Which is
The
the last, right? If I'm not
Nope.
mistaken. What other
Well,
one do we have? No, for the this overall DC
before it gets
installment.
rebooted, right?
Yeah, before all that. Oh, Flash, right? Or no, would
Well,
that count
no,
into the?
that's gonna reboot everything.
Okay, so that'll be the first one that's in the new
Yeah.
universe for. Okay,
Well, wouldn't Aquaman in the last King?
Are we having that? No, I thought that was part of
Yeah,
the.
Aquaman in the Lost Kingdom is December 25th this year, while the Flash is what's it called? No, Flash
Uh, no, Flash comes out this year during
on
summer.
June, right?
Yeah,
June
summer.
16th. So the last one would be Aqua.
No, the last
I,
one would be this one because they haven't said anything about Aquaman.
but if Jason's not coming back as Aquaman, wouldn't that make that?
Not necessarily because you could. There's a lot of storylines that Gunn can take to
Hmm,
kill him off,
yeah, I
especially
don't
with.
know, man.
We'll have to see, but by technicality, how the
Before the
grand scheme,
universe gets rebooted, this is the
this is the
final
last. Yeah,
DCEU film. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
What everyone hates the most in comic book cinema right now,
yeah.
the DCU.
The film was directed by David F. Sandberg and written by Henry Gayden and Chris Morgan and stars Zachary Levi, Asher Angel, Jack Dylan Grazer, Rachel Zegler, Adam Brody, Ross Butler, Megan Good, Lucy Liu, Jimon Hansu, and Helen Mirren. In the film, Billy Batson, Shazam, and his foster siblings fight the Daughters of Atlas. A sequel to Shazam began development shortly after the film's release in April 2019, with Gayden returning as writer. Sandberg and Levi were also set to return by that December. The title and rest of the returning cast were confirmed in August 2020, with Zegler, Mirren, and Liu cast as the Daughters of Atlas in early 2021. Filming began that May in Atlanta, Georgia, and concluded in August. Shazam Fury of the Gods premiered at the Fox Village Theater in the West Hood neighborhood of Los Angeles on March 14, 2023, and was theatrically released in the United States on March 17th. The film received mixed reviews from critics and has grossed $65 million worldwide. Cinematography is done by Gyula Pados, edited by Michael Aller, music by Christoph Beck, and sits at 2 hours and 10 minutes, and on a budget of 110 to 125 million, it has made 64.7 million at the box office.
So it's
Not good.
losing.
Yeah, it's losing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
losing
that's
money.
that. Yeah, that's so. James Gunn said that depending on what Shazam made and like really like how successful Shazam was going to be, would determine the future of.
Whether they stay or not.
It's safe to say that it's done. This is done.
Yeah, especially since the whole piece there are spoilers. I mean, it's already on, but at
Yeah,
there's a post credit scene that the characters from Peacemaker appear to recruit him for Justice Society. Um, but they did leave it off as like, okay, he's not worth it. Let's just go. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see
Oh,
what.
I'm sorry. What's it called? That didn't come from James Gunn. Sandberg actually said that
Oh,
what's it called?
Samber.
Levi's future in the DCU could depend on the reception of Fury of the
That's fair.
Gods, which I'm gonna be real honest. James Gunn might be interested in bringing Levi back, but
Yeah.
it's not gonna be with the same writing team and the same.
Oh, that's perfectly
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
I don't like this writing, but who was this in who was in charge? Who was the cinematographer?
Um, sorry, bro. I gotta go back all the way
More
up.
shit.
No, you're good. It is Gyula Pados, who has worked on Maze Runner: The Scorch Trials, Maze Runner: The Death Cure, and they're going to be what's it called? Shooting the next Planet of the Apes film.
Fuck, and I like the Maze Runner movies. Okay, so yeah, because I was gonna say I like some of the shots, but there was some stuff. I'll talk about it more in detail because
Yeah,
there's some shit that I need to add. But
yeah.
damn,
Stacy
fucking amazing.
says, and only three after credit scenes featuring Black Adam, Martian Manhunter, and Jared Leto's Joker with deranged no returns on his forehead. No, Stacy,
Yeah.
hello. Thank you for coming to the review.
What up?
Um, Luis, I feel like I always hand it off to Brad first, and I want to give it to
Yeah.
you because I truly think that you might have the the nicer version, and
Yeah.
I'm still
Yeah.
kind of trying to piece it together in my head where I can say it as professionally as I can possibly say it. But yeah, what are your initial thoughts on Shazam: Fury of the Gods?
Um, it's definitely it's I like I'm not like if you want to take your siblings to it or like your kid to it, it's fine. Like it's a good move for that. Just to watch something with the family. But if you're more deep diving into the world of the industry and just writing and writing styles and shit like that, you might be a little more biased on this. But to me, it's a solid watch. Like I'll probably won't watch it again unless they had it like on streaming services. But I'm not actively like searching to rewatch it anytime soon. Aside from maybe like Miss Carrie, Curry,
Yeah,
and Mama Adoption. I forgot her that the character's name,
Marta Milans.
Marta
Yeah,
Milans.
yeah,
Um, but aside from those two, uh, I'm not going like I'm not actively looking for a rewatch. Is what I'm trying to say. It's good, but not rewatching good immediately. Like after you just finished watching
yeah.
it.
Oh, Rosa. Rosa is her name. Rosa. The
Rosa.
name of the character is Rosa. Yeah,
Okay, okay, okay.
Mary and Rosa. You're thinking about, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's up? What about
Okay.
you? You figured it out? You figured out your feelings, your turmoil?
Yeah, I am a huge fan of the first film.
Yeah.
Uh, I loved Shazam. I thought that it was, one of the biggest breaths of fresh air when it came to like comedy in like superhero movies because honestly, like Marvel overdoes it sometimes, and it's
Yeah.
like instead of like laughing, I'm just sitting there like really cringing at this like use of like humor, and it's like doesn't work. But in Shazam, like I had moments that I'm literally just bolting out laughing, like just bursting out laughing, like having so much fun with it. And
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Shazam also has like such a beautiful story about family, and like it connects it so well with like the main thing that they're doing with the superhero stuff. And Fury of the Gods just takes all of that and just does
Kind of
nothing with
forgets
it.
about it.
Forgets
Yeah.
about it, bro.
I
Puts it
heavily got that.
aside. It's
Yeah.
like everything that made Shazam special is just put aside in this movie to make like some action packed, sloppily CGI'd film that is rushed like hell, but also kind of drags at points too. It's like
Hmm.
this movie. It's like if this movie was made by somebody who didn't even understand the first one it was made, bro. Like I don't know. Like it felt so odd. It felt so off, man.
Which
Like
is just crazy because the first one has the same writer, right? Or did
yeah,
Sandberg
bro.
also
Mama
Sandberg also
adoption.
input?
Like, Jolina Jolie.
I mean, in essence, it technically is, aside from this character being married in a
Yeah.
happily relationship. But you're not wrong, Stacy. Um,
Yeah.
but like in the first one, I don't remember if David also had more input than this one because I feel like this one had a lot of Warner Brothers stuff that were like,
So
"Hey,
it's
we need you."
the same what's it called writer, bro. But
Hmm.
no, 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 no. Hold on. A new writer joined this one.
Okay.
But what's it called, bro? Like yeah, Darren Lemk did the story with Henry Gayden last time, and Henry
Mhm.
Gayden wrote the script. In this one, the script is just completely written by Chris Morgan and Henry Gayden. I yeah, I
Mm.
don't
I think that
yeah.
Chris character didn't
Chris
fuck.
Morgan. has writing credits including multiple screenplays in the Fast and Furious
That's why.
franchise.
Okay. All right. Which ones? Which ones? Because there's some banger ones, and then there's actually like the ones that
Did we
I
find our
actively
cult, bro?
fucking.
Tokyo
Cause
Drift, Fast and
damn,
Furious 2009, Fast 5, Fast and Furious 6, Furious 7, Fate of the Furious. Okay, so he's been working
seven.
on everything since the
Yeah,
Tokyo
yeah, yeah.
Drift.
So Drift. I don't like the fourth one, which is the one you mentioned. Fast Five are good. So Tokyo Drift and Fast Five and Six are good. Seven, Fate of the Furious, those are fucking
Yeah.
trash.
He
But that's
didn't do
surprising.
F9. He
You
didn't
didn't
do
do Fate.
F9. No.
Okay, okay. I mean, that
Um,
doesn't make a difference.
he
They
did do
seem
Hobbs and Shaw. He did do
okay.
Hobbs and Shaw.
That explains even more. That explains more on the comedy side on this one on your whole side. Which I was gonna say, the way you mentioned talking about like the family stuff that it goes in deep in the first one, they had potential to write to like hone in on one specific topic that they had for Billy going at the beginning that we actively
Yeah.
like figured out like 10 minutes into the movie. He's very he basically has PTSD and has that trauma of like being left that they could have
Yeah.
developed more of like
It's
him
just not
kind of
developed, bro.
yeah, they that was a good point. Like, especially with the older sister, with Miss Curry's fine ass, talking and letting him know, like, hey, we understand that you have these problems and this fear, but we're also our own people that have our own things that we struggle with that we're trying to
Yeah.
kind of cope with, and then adding on the whole superhero thing is kind of making it harder for us too. But I mean,
And
yeah,
I
fucking
felt that like the more like the more time we spent with the adult superhero versions, the more we alienated like the children, like the
yeah.
aspect of the children, like as if those children didn't matter anymore. Like when like that's not the case at all. Where like Shazam really made the point of like, hey, we're a family and like we all of us like what's it called have a big part to play in this whole thing that we're doing here.
Hmm.
And I felt in this movie it's like, oh no, we only care about the superhero version.
Yeah, which fucking defeats the point of Shazam because the entire character of Shazam is based off
Yeah,
of like his this kid learning the hardships like outside of his Shazam personality,
yeah,
and then using his Shazam personality as like a whole of fucking adulthood. But it's more
yeah.
so with stuff that we need to like the whole school bits and like the bullying and the all that like that could have play on a little individually, right?
That
Because all
stuff
of
we
them
saw in the
technically just
last movie, bro. Like that was
yeah.
stuff we kept seeing the last, and like there was no room for anything like new that we wanted like to just keep exploring with these kids. Like,
Yeah, exactly. We could have gone outside of that because the oldest one is already like they graduated and they're like they were supposed to go to college but didn't
hmm
because of the whole powers, and then the whole exploration of Diego finding like coming out that he's
which was like
gay.
so out of left field.
Yeah, it's like
Which I'm not gonna say it's a bad thing. I'm not saying that
no,
Diego
no,
coming out
no.
is a bad thing. It's like I would have loved to have felt some development with that.
Yeah, to make it where like we understand that that family's gonna be accepting of him is like, but the old trope of like, oh, we kind of knew, like we knew, like that kind of passes it off. Like, okay, we already knew him and we hinted here and there, and that's it, right? No, like that's a big step for any LGBT person to come out to a family, let alone an
Yeah.
adopting family.
Yeah, and it just felt like, oh, brushing it under the rug. It's like, okay, there we go. Let's move on to the next thing. And it's like with the stuff with Mary too. Like, man, wouldn't that have been nice to see Mary like going to the admissions office and having to tell him like I'm really sorry and have some of those really like emotionally impactful what's it called scenes where Mary has to choose between being a superhero in her
School
family
and
or
yeah,
school and like no, we just get resorted to a line there. She's like, yeah, I was supposed to go to college but I didn't go. It's like, oh, cool. Would have been
yeah.
much more impactful to see that go down.
Yeah, because in the first one, we even saw her studying for all the SATs and shit, like
Yes.
putting in work and stuff. And like, I would have loved, I would have loved to seen that storyline. And then the whole trope of her going out and having a hangover and stuff, like living her life. I get it. She wants to live her own self, right? But like,
But it
it's
feels so out of left field of the
yeah, it doesn't
character.
seem like her. Yeah, it didn't seem like
No.
her. It seemed like more so someone with an alcohol, like someone avoiding her problems by use of alcohol was what we were seeing, which isn't
Yeah.
Mary. Yeah, she's like fix it.
Uh,
She tries to fix it. She doesn't try to avoid it.
Which is like, yeah, and like, so we went from like point A to like point F with some of these characters without actually
Yeah,
seeing some actual like development with them in the film, and it's just I felt if the script feels so off because of that.
yeah, it definitely
The
does.
man, the CGI was. I'm so sorry, y'all. I like I when I say these things, I don't ever hope to like insult VFX artists because I know that it is a job that requires so much and you're underworked, you're underpaid and you're overworked most of the time. But
Yeah,
my God,
which
was
we
that
aren't even sure if like Disney, because
we know
CGI
Disney does it, yeah.
companies, yeah, we know Disney does it as overworking their own CGI artist or animation artist, bruh. But there
Dude,
was development in the last one, Stacey. That's what we're getting at. But anyways, stuff like that, like CGI, isn't owned by one specific production company. It's
no,
like their
no.
own independent. So my question would be: was it that production company that also got assigned to like Shazam and other DC stuff, were they outweighed by like the overall use of CGI with Disney and other films, or
But
was
like
it like a attention to like, okay, we need this by this date, that's how long you have, give us whatever you got?
the thing is that they also delayed this movie twice because of
Yeah,
VFX.
yeah.
You know,
So I
they're like,
wonder
oh,
if this was the better version, if they just gave up.
I have no idea, man.
Oh, by the way, so for context for the people listening or viewing, I left the theater and I was talking to Raul and his brother because we took his Wedo over his brother, and I was telling these guys just like, was it just me or was there a lot more like Josh Whedon s shots in this of like leg shots in the film? So
Yeah,
I don't like I don't remember what you said. You just like I don't know. I'm not paying attention to that type of stuff. Which
I noticed it with Wonder Woman, but that was this. I looked back at 1984.
Mhm.
That's the same suit that Wonder Woman has in 1984.
So I think a
But
lot of those shots was because of the CGI. Because apparently Gal Gadot wasn't even there. Like she was replaced, like deep faked by someone else. Because
oh
I saw
my
some background
god,
shots on Twitter. I tried to save them, but Twitter refreshed because I accidentally clicked the home button. Um, but basically a lot of these shots might be like torso down, not because they're trying to like sexualize it, but because they're trying to hide CGI shit. um
oh my god.
so I don't know, but there was a lot of leg showing for me. I normally don't mind that, but that's not what Shazam was in the first one, and that's not what I was expecting from a wholesome character. Because even though the actresses are fine as hell and that stuff, the characters are still like respectful. Like they're not overly sexualized like they are in the comics. Even in the comics, I think they wear leggings or like thigh high boots or some shit. They're not
Yeah,
actively showing a lot. Like Starfire, is comic book rendition where it's like basically nothing. But yeah, no, those shots were something else, and I think it was because they were trying to hide CGI. Now that I saw that tweet, I'm like, that could explain it.
yeah. What did you think about the villains overall? The Daughters of Atlas, and like the twist that Rachel Zegler was one of the Daughters of Atlas, which felt like I was like, oh wow, I saw this coming from a mile away.
I forgot that they were like, I don't remember. I don't remember a lot of like Wonder Woman's like gods and stuff because that's where they mostly do
Yeah,
deal with in the comics. Shazam, of course, also deals with the gods because that's where he got his powers from. But it twisted me enough towards like, oh, okay, so okay, I get it. Like if someone that doesn't know the overarching characters, they would be surprised. Which for me, I was like, oh, okay. But like putting one and two together of the old trope of like, ooh, enemy came into the school to try to figure out who the person was, and then it comes out that they were really working like as a mole to figure it out, right? I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But their whole dynamic seemed a bit off. and I'm not talking chemistry wise between the actresses, just the characters, like the writing, the actual writing.
Yeah, the way that the dialogue comes off feels like
Yeah,
very like very forced at times. It's kind of
yeah,
very kind of stiff, and I, God, man, like you have actresses in there like Lucy Liu,
yeah,
Helen Mirren, who are legends in their own right. You know, who have given us some of their best, some of the best performances in Hollywood, and they just feel so out of place in this movie.
yeah. They just feel like they're doing it for an extra cash grab, which I understand completely. But
Yeah,
also, it's like they got the chops to do so. They to give you some real deep acting, but they missed out a little bit on that. Even with the betrayal of like her getting trapped in the bubble and then getting
yeah,
angry at her sister who was dying, like just throwing the dragon there for like okay, I
yeah,
get it, but like there's still sisters that lived to close to 10,000 years together. Like we
yeah,
could get a little bit more emotion, sadness, anger, it doesn't matter, just a little bit more emotion between them.
yeah. I will say there were some stuff that I actually liked about this movie.
Hmm.
I think the music is good. I think the score is pretty good.
Okay.
I like that. Also, Jamon Hansu. You know, we actually get to see more of the wizard this time. And I'm not
Well,
gonna lie, the wizard was probably one of the best parts of this movie. He was
yeah, he was a
great.
little more sassy in this one than he was
Yeah,
in the first
I
one.
love that. I loved it. And you know, I'm glad that the chemistry of the family for the small amount of time that they're on screen, because they're not on there as much as you would want them to be,
Yeah.
it still feels very real. It feels like really good chemistry, and at least that works for this movie.
Hmm.
But at the top of my head, honestly, Luis, that's as much as I liked about this movie.
I think I just like the film because I like the character because it's like a true it's like aside from Spider-Man, right? Where you actively like poor dude has powers, does everything in his power to do good, right? That's the
Yeah,
same with Captain Marvel in general, and I'm talking DC Captain Marvel, not um
yeah,
MCU. But I love the whole like kid having these tough ass choices because he was pure of heart and now needs to figure out his shit in order to continue. We see it in the animated universe, we see it in his show. I had never seen the 70s show, but seeing the original actor there was kind of cool.
yeah.
But it's definitely hard to enjoy a lot of the aspects. But now seeing as the writer was a lot of the writing here is what's the issue for me. A lot of the issue because the cinematography is good. There's some nice shots that don't equal aren't exact equals to what we get in the first one. Like him jumping off the building in the
Yeah,
first one and transforming. I would have loved to see something similar to that in this one, especially because they had a lot of deep stuff that they didn't cover.
yeah.
But we didn't. But they still have some cool shots. But the writing definitely kills a lot of it for me, which sucks because I was looking forward to this movie.
There was a moment I thought they were gonna do it again. The whole
Yeah,
like I thought, and there was a moment when when she shows himself to his mom, and she tells him to go kick some ass, and she's like, you get the very hype music, and it's starting to
yeah.
jump up. I thought he was gonna do it. I thought he was gonna do it again, like where he jumps off like that, but no.
That would have been
Um,
cool, yeah. Or
it,
in the he does this a lot in the comics and in shows where he puts the villain in front of him, above him, and
yeah,
screams Shazam, and because the
fries
lightning
their
can't go
ass.
through, yeah, it fries them. I thought that's what he was gonna do at the end there. That would have also
Yeah,
be that would have been equally as cool, like him turning into the kid inside the bubble, and then
yeah,
coming out and fighting, and as he runs forward like changes into Captain Marvel's alter ego as he clashes with the dragon and shit. That would have been cool, and that would have also probably helped the CGI because there's always a lot of smoke when he transforms, so like it could have hid a lot of the stuff when he was flying at the end.
yeah.
I don't know, that's just me. But yeah, there was a lot of stuff that was missing that we got in the first one, and I don't know because Sandberg he delivers normally, but I guess maybe too much involvement of Warner Bros. Got in here because this was happening during the entire just reboot phase, basically that's lasted like the
Yeah.
last year and a half.
Um,
And
yeah.
I don't know.
And do we dare to even talk about the post credit scenes? Because do they even matter anymore at this point? Like, you
I
know,
mean we can talk about it overall, but like in essence, I doubt they matter.
they matter. Yeah. like,
Um, The
Yeah,
Justice Society is interesting because I believe they are important in Kingdom Come.
yeah,
And if that's what Amanda Waller's calling her little fucking government shit instead of Task Force X,
yeah,
that's interesting. So either these guys, no, they didn't separate because they did mention Waller. Um, so it's curious because Justice
yeah,
Society, from what I remember, are basically the Justice League on a government level.
yeah.
Um,
Well, and remember, like the Black Adam, like Hawkman, and all those like are working for Waller, but like,
oh, that's
and
right.
that's kind of what I felt like. I think this movie depended on like the idea that Black Adam was supposed to be like the
Was supposed to be
reboot.
good.
It was supposed to be the good in the reboot of
Yeah,
DC universe
that's a
film,
good point. That's a
and
good
like
point. I forgot
that's why
about
this
that.
kind of feels off because at the same time I walk into this movie and I'm like, this is not the continuation
I blocked out that entire scene, even though I like some of the characters. I forgot that Hawkman is basically the
working
Justice
for. Yeah,
Society, yeah, and he's
yeah,
working with the mob. Okay, yeah, never mind
yeah.
then.
And then
It's nothing.
yeah,
Yeah.
the second one, which like ideally, if we were to be continuing this and we would get a Shazam 3, I'd be really excited to see Mark Strong come back because I loved Mark Strong in the first film,
Hmm.
but is
It's
that
it's
happening?
it's we don't know. Yeah, we definitely don't know. I doubt that they'll do that. Um, But yeah, seeing Mark Strong come back was a bit thrown off for me because I thought by the end of the by last movie's last credit, he would have already escaped or some shit. But apparently not. I forgot the worm. I forgot his name, but fucking, I'll
Yeah.
call him Professor Wiggles for right now. I thought he already took him out of prison.
Oh, Dr. Savannah?
Doctor Savannah. Yeah, there we
Yeah,
go.
not Dr. Savannah. I'm sorry. It was a mind. Some the little
A little
caterpillar.
worm. Yeah,
Yeah. Which, by the way, like I
he
feel
made
like
a good semester.
that was supposed to be like a reminder like, hey, this thing is still exists, he's still in prison, because like in
Yeah,
the first week he like we were like, okay, this is probably going to be the
the
villain for
second
the
one.
next film, which
Yeah,
and I have to I have to look at it now as like the big picture, right? I feel like F. Sandberg was planning for this little creature to be his big bad in 3, to be like, oh, here I planted the season 1, this is what he's doing in 2, he's trying to get Savannah out, and like in 3 he's going to be the big threat, because it was obvious
yeah.
that Black Adam, I mean, what's it called? Dwayne The Rock Johnson had no interest in doing a Black Adam versus Shazam film. He
Yep.
wanted to go straight for Black Adam versus Superman. So there was no
Stupid
chance
as
that,
hell. Yep.
yeah, which Black Adam was going to come out in the next one. So David F. Sandberg was probably going to use little critter collar guy, caterpillar dude, to show up in the third one. But obviously, that is not the plan.
Which also it wouldn't be a bad idea because the worm is definitely he's
I
a
fuck
big
with
plot
this.
point in the comics.
I fuck with this.
Yeah, he was good at Sinestro, which I didn't know he was Sinestro. I thought
Yeah.
they just really casted a really good looking Sinestro from animation to
No,
but
he's Sinestro. I like him as Sinestro.
yeah, he's good. He's good. Bring back the Lantern Corps with the
Yeah.
John. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Sandberg had a lot on his plate right now because probably when he started directing or shooting production slash hopefully we hoped he had a lot of input during the pre-production point of writing. During
Yeah.
that whole phase they probably started the whole debacle with Warner Brother trying to restart a franchise or whatever. But who
Yeah.
knows, who
You know,
knows.
would have probably been a good idea if David F. Sandberg had a hand in the script here and would have written it too. But yeah,
Yeah,
um, but I digress. Right?
let's see what he posts on his YouTube. He usually like 2 months 2 or 3 months after his embargo ends he talks about his
Yeah.
shit.
Yep. But what is your final verdict on Shazam: Fury of the Gods, Luis?
I'll give it a 5 out of 10. It's not the
Um,
best, but not like the worst shit. Fucking better than Black Adam. I'll say that.
yeah. Well. All right. Yeah. I mean, I agree with you that it's better than Black Adam, but that still doesn't make it good to me. I'm going to go ahead and give Shazam: Fury of the Gods a. I'm giving it a 4 out of 10.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean a 5 is like right in the middle, whereas you're
right in the
neutral to
middle.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
4 is
I'm
leaning
yeah.
towards bad.
I'm not looking forward to ever watching this again. I'm probably not going to watch it again. I
There's no
only
point.
there's
Yeah.
no point anymore. I said I was not gonna watch Black Adam again, but we did it for the commentary for my birthday. So, the people were gonna get it, and they got it. But
Did you
when it
actually watch Black Adam again?
yes, I watched it again,
I
and
would have watched it with your head jokes.
I wanted to gauge my eyes out, Oedipus Rex style. Um,
Bruh.
but with that said, thank you all so much for listening to our review of Shazam: Fear of the Gods, and we want to thank you all so much for tuning into this episode. You can support us on nerdcore.com, twitter.com/thenerdcore_, Instagram at the nerdcore, patreon.com/thenerdcore to get this episode a day early and live before the public gets it. And then our Discord to talk movies with us is in our description. So check that all out. It would help us out a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you're watching this on video. Click the notification bell and leave a like on the video. If you're listening to us on audio podcast platforms like Apple Podcasts and Spotify, leave a 5-star review. It would help us out a lot. Please do it. We would really appreciate it. We also want to thank our producer for supporting the podcast and making this possible, along with all our other Patreon supporters that make it possible as well. Shane, thank you so much for being a producer. You can find Shane at Prison City Shit on Instagram, Thrifted IL on Twitter, PrisonCityVintage.com, and go check out Prison City Vintage in Crest Hill, Illinois. I hope I'm saying the right name now because I always get it wrong. Stacy, thanks for being in here, bro. It means a
Yeah.
lot.
Come back
Live.
next time when we talk about how we get new gods.
Yup, yup. If all goes well, our next episode will probably be John Wick Chapter 4 review. But in the meantime, it's been a lot of
Fuck
fun.
yeah.
Luis, do you want to send them out? Do you want to say the word? I don't know.
Yeah. Let's just fucking send them out when I transform. All right. 3, 2, 1. Shazam.